Ladies and gentlemen, honoring the captains tonight and tossing the coin are the representatives of the 1988 Permian Panther football team. Tonight we honor the 88 Panthers. They made those Friday night lights famous by telling the rest of the world just how amazing Mojo really is. As we celebrate their legacy and their success, let's have a loud Ratliff welcome to the representatives of the 1988 Texas 5A quarterfinal champion Permian Panther football team. The captains for the visiting Bulldogs are number 7, Sutton Sapien, number 8, Sean Porter, number 45, Smith Esmond, number 55, Josh Ramos. The captains for your Panthers, number 5, Christian Schauner, number 18, Matt Jones, number 27, Ed Williams, and number 47, Tanner Adams.
Still one of the coolest things in my life was pre-game when I was in Marching Band Tech. Being in the tunnels, 60,000 people. Just as soon as they would hear the drums.
Permian will take the senior team.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ratliff Stadium. Tonight, the 1988 team is here, most in person, some in spirit, as they welcome the 2018 edition of the Permian Panthers onto the Ratliff Stadium turf. Tonight, a longtime foe against them tonight will be the Midland High Bulldogs. Well, we got a sighting, I think, of Don Billingsley, Ivory Christian, Steve Womack, Stan Wilkins. Who else was down there?
Booby Miles.
Booby, and in spirit, they had a 45 jersey for Chris Comer. And what a team that was that made it all the way to that contested game against Dallas Carter in Austin back those many, many years ago, and that was the feature team for the movie Friday Night Lights. Permian did win the toss. They have elected to receive, which is unusual. And so when we return, we will have the opening kickoff and the Permian offense taking the field.
On a
forbidden Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, we can't.
But Julia,
We're rivals.
I can love you and still hate your overrated school.
We have two different defensive philosophies. You're a base 4-3 cover 2, and I'm an
Aggressive 3-4 with press coverage, I get it. But we both love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Ramon.
Touchdown, State!
Yes! Into your face!
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Petroplex SWD Systems is honored to sponsor the Game of the Week. As football fans, we're looking forward to a great season. Just as us West Texans take pride in the Falcons, so does Petroplex SWD Systems take pride in being a premier saltwater disposal service provider. With locations spanning from Glasscock to northern Andrews County, we are strategically positioned to handle all of your saltwater disposal needs. We understand that SWD facility downtime affects your bottom line. Therefore, we make proactive maintenance a priority and are prepared to quickly address any facility issues. If you are looking for a saltwater disposal solution for current or future project development, give us a call. We're always looking to expand and are looking forward to a bright and prosperous future with UTPB and the community. On behalf of everyone at Petroplex SWD Systems, go Falcons. Enjoy the game.
Wake up to eggs cooked to perfection, savory bacon, sausage and chorizo, and hot, fresh flour tortillas. Drive through for breakfast at Rosa's Cafe. Rosa's combines all your favorites into tasty breakfast tacos and serves them hot and fresh to get your day started right. Or try Rosa's Migas plate with beans and potatoes. Feeding a group? Rosa's breakfast taco platter is the perfect fit. So rise and shine. Life and breakfast is better at Rosa's Cafe.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week produced by Trans Global Productions, brought to you in part by Petroplex SWD Systems, your saltwater disposal specialists, as well as Nimbus Drinking Water Systems. Nice to have you with us tonight. Barry Sykes along with Larry Thornhill and Kyle Hubbard. So let's check in with Kyle now that Permian will be on offense to start the ball game. Your keys to bidding a what could be a tough Bulldog team tonight.
Well, they are definitely tough, Barry, because they are right now averaging about 29, almost 30 points a game. You cannot underestimate these Bulldogs at all. They are well coached. They have a great coaching staff. Midland High, however, is giving up 6.7 yards a carry this year on the ground. I think that's why you see Permian taking the football here. They want to establish their own running game, ground and pound, if you will, mix the pass in. And I think the dangling carrot for this Permian team tonight, Barry, it ought to be a big motivator. Beat the Bulldogs, you are in the Class 6A football playoffs, probably Division I.
Probably Division I, Seed 1 as well. Christian Schauner on the return of the kickoff will start us off at the 42-yard line. Up front, James Bruce will start at left tackle. Landon Peterson, right tackle. Dawson Reynolds and Rodney Gann, the guards. And John Hinojos will be the center. Quarterback is Peyton Powell. Powell will hand off up the middle and give the ball to Ed Williams. Back in the back behind him. And then the receivers, mainly Alex Rose, Justin Hammond, Tyler Ramage, Mason Sellers, and Caden Harrell. Those are the main guys that we will see in the receiving lanes tonight. So the gain by Williams was a good close to 5 yards. They say 4 officially. So it's going to be 2nd and 6. Powell's going to hand it off again to Williams. Now this team, this Midland High team, really got snobber blocked a few weeks ago against Amarillo Tascosa. They gave up 532 yards rushing in that ball game. That's a school record against them. The old record was 528 that they gave up to Tascosa last season. Earlier this year, they allowed a school record 704 yards against El Paso Franklin. So Permian, probably with this running game and a good passing game to go with it, will have a chance to put some points up on the board tonight. Williams again with the run, and that was, I think it was Essman that made the tackle.
I think it was number 50, Barry, for them.
I think you may be right.
Isaiah Hernandez, if he doesn't trip him up, he's gone to the house.
Yep, exactly. Down to the 36-yard line they go. Going to be second and short. Going to be a couple needed.
I want our fans to notice the front for Midland High. They've got 3 down linemen and then 2 more that are in a 3-point stance, but off the line about 2 or 3 yards. I'm going to tell you why they're doing that after this play.
Peyton tried to get the ball out to his receiver, Hammond, who couldn't grab it. Popped it up in the air, and Mason Sellers had a shot at it. Couldn't grab it either, so it's going to be third and short. The line to gain is going to be the 34-yard line.
Now, Permian took the shot there on second and short, as you said, and just did not catch a football. Go back to my point. Those 2 down linemen that are off the line of scrimmage, they're trying to make it hard for the Permian linemen to get to there. Now, they're not lined up this way on third down here.
Yeah, watch the quarterback keep it. Nope, he pitched it back to Williams, who will have the first down. He's still on his feet. Ed's on his feet still. Ed's going to score. So Ed Williams will get the first score on the board. It will come from 36 yards away, and pending the Carson Roberts extra point, Permian has jumped on top quickly, 6-0.
And that's exactly why Permian wanted to do that. An outstanding block by Dawson Reynolds. When you see this on the replay, folks, DVR, rewind it, and watch the block number 63 put on the defender. He just absolutely destroyed him, and that's what allowed Ed Williams to get on up the field and get into the end zone for the first Permian touchdown of the night. You couldn't have asked for a better script to start the game for the Permian offense.
So now Carson Roberts, 97% good on his extra points. The only miss was in that monsoon at South Lake Carroll. Is true to the mark as always. And now with 10:04 to play in the first quarter, Ed Williams already 57 yards rushing on 4 carries, scores from 36 yards out to cap a 5-play, 58-yard drive in less than 2 minutes. Permian 7, Midland 0.
Are you sure we should take this billboard down?
People find out State Farm does car loans as well as they do insurance. Our bank is through.
Good point. Grab an edge.
Look, there's 2 guys on the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
No, for real, there's 2 dudes on the State Farm.
Borrow Better banking sign.
Gentlemen, please get down from the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign. Phil, get the hose.
Okay, he's getting the hose.
All right, let's go.
Want to borrow better? Contact State Farm agent Mike Podzemny about a car loan that can save you hundreds.
Texas Burger's Banana Split. A banana never had it so good.
Why not?
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week produced by Trans Global Productions, brought to you in part by E&E Service and Supply and Hoke & Thorpe CPAs. Okay, now what you talked about offensively, pretty happy?
Oh, I'm very happy. I think, as I said right before the break, I think you couldn't have scripted it any better for Permian. They wanted to. You very rarely see teams that win the coin toss take the football. Most of them defer, but Jeff Ellison felt like tonight that he wanted to give his offense a chance to get rolling early. I'd like to wish Vance Washington a happy birthday, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, as he's going to get to see this defense take the field now as Midland High will allow us to go into the end zone, and they'll get the ball at the 25-yard line. I'd also like to say a happy birthday to our friend Clay Kennedy. It was actually yesterday, and Clay get feeling better, been a little under the weather, but
and he'll be here on the college game next week.
Next week, yeah. I will not be doing the UTPB game next week. We have a prior family commitment down in San Angelo, so we'll be there.
Yeah, and your birthday was this past week. Larry's is next week, so we just got birthdays and stuff all over the place, including the defensive coordinator for Permian. So Sutton Sapien, good big tall kid, is the quarterback. He's going to hand the ball off to, I believe this is Harris. Harris is number 22, DQ Harris.
I think we can go ahead and mention for the first time tonight, watch Tanner Adams take the block on, just kind of scrape off of it. Him and Parchman both just got in on that tackle and limited that run to about 2 yards.
That was Daniel Garcia that ran the ball 32, not 22. So he got a couple of yards, bringing up a 2nd and 8 rather. Sapien likes to throw the ball. Has a couple of good receivers, but they're going to keep it on the ground here. Going to get up to the 30, bring up a 3rd and short.
That's Cameron Martinez from his outside linebacker position to scrape inside and make the play, only for about another only 2 or 3 yard gain.
Yeah, so Garcia again. Garcia only had 95 yards coming in. Leading ball carrier with Harris, DQ Harris, the senior, 401 yards, averaging 4.7. Probably going to throw the ball here. He's got a couple of good receivers and couldn't connect with either one of them there. Tried to get the ball. You see who the intended target was. It was Nick Biano, number 4, Biano. He has 3 catches on the year before. Now coming in is again Permian going to get a chance at the ball one more time is Sapien. Will drop back to kick, averaging about 32 yards a kick, so 10, 20. So Permian should come away with the ball somewhere around the 40-yard line, maybe even between the 40 and 50. They started the first drive of the night on the 42-yard line and maybe pretty close to that. Well, the ball's going to bounce. Permian's going to field it and going to get on going. And so Stell, I think that was Stell, It was, that returned it. So Permian will still be in good field position at the 35, 36-yard line.
That is an excellent job by the Permian defense. Vance Washington probably couldn't have scripted that any better to start the first drive of the game for his Panther defense. 3 and out, excellent field position at their own 36. Let's see if the Panthers maybe try to get Hammond or somebody out wide in open space. They have 2 linebackers that are really taking that option away.
Powell over 1,000 yards this season so far with 10 touchdowns. Tries to get the ball into the receiver and does not connect with him, so it's going to be 2nd and 10. Tried to get the ball into Sellers. 10 TDs, 4 interceptions, a couple of them last week. Averaging, and here's the good numbers, averaging 18 yards a completion and 11 yards an attempt. That's pretty awesome.
Well, and Peyton, just that internal clock in his mind, he knew he was fixing to probably get sacked, so he just threw the ball away, made a good decision there.
So he gives the ball to Ed Williams. Ed will have a first. Goodbye, Ed. See ya. Come back next time. Ed will go from 64 yards away. Boogity down the field. They found something open in the middle, and there goes Ed from the 36-yard line into the end zone for the 2nd score of the night.
See, he's just parted on the right side, Barry, and we were talking about the 1988 team being honored here. That looked like one of Chris Cromer's runs when he got in the open field right there. He would look like he got shot out of a cannon, and Ed Williams did the same thing right there, and the Panthers have 2 quick touchdowns on the board. Great blocking on the right side.
Only a 14-second drive. The extra point by Roberts is good. Williams at 121 yards on 5 carries and 2 scores of 36 and 64. And with 8:36 to play in the first, Permian 14, the Bulldogs nothing.
BCM and Associates Incorporated, the Oilfield Undertaker. BCM provides turnkey services to plug and abandon oil and gas wells in the Permian Basin. BCM has 7 highly trained plugging crews based in Odessa and Hobbs, New Mexico. BCM will prepare and file regulatory forms. We also buy leases for production and salvage. Go to bcmandassociates.com for services, pipe, plus equipment for sale. bcmandassociates.com. The Oilfield Undertaker.
For great flooring values and real customer service, forget the frustration of the big box stores. Paul Evans trained flooring professionals will save you time, money, and hassle on your next flooring project. Whether do-it-yourself or professionally installed, Paul Evans offers great values on carpet, tile, hardwood, and waterproof flooring. Paul Evans Flooring, Odessa and Midland. For over 30 years,
you just can't beat a Paul Evans deal.
Texas Burger's all-beef chili cheese dog. Get one today.
Beat it up. The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week brought to you in part by Rexco and by State Farm Insurance agent Mike Podzimny. Now, what'd you say about in the break you were talking about they're going to have to make some defensive adjustments in a hurry, or this is going to get away from them quickly?
Well, right now, Permian's game plan is to get Ed Williams going off either guard position, and Midland High is not defending that. They've got a couple of linebackers that are positioned outside to take the pitch away or the quarterback away. And I would think over there on the sideline, you see their defensive group talking. I would think they're going to have to make a few adjustments to either decide to take the ball out of Ed Williams' hands. When that happens, Peyton Powell and Hammond and a couple of those other guys are going to come in motion and get the pitch out on the corner, and then see if the track meet happens outside.
Stella and Banks combine to make the tackle on the kickoff, so they will start. Midland will start with Sudden Sapien. What a name, huh?
Yep.
You know, maybe it came quicker than they wanted. Maybe that's why Sudden the name. So they're going to hand the ball off inside. Let me see if that's 22 carrying the ball this time. Sure looks like it. Nope, it's still going to be Garcia. So Harris has not seen the field yet. So he will get a couple of yards before Martinez makes the tackle.
Got some help from Andy Notley, too, from his inside linebacker position, Barry.
Boy, he has really been active these last couple of weeks.
He really has. He was our player of the game not too long ago.
So Sudden Sapien looking for a receiver. Does have a man open. That's going to be Des Washington. His 11th catch of the season. Des will get the ball out to the 40-yard line for a gain of 14. And it'll bring up a new set of downs. Don't want to give him that much of a cushion, do you?
Well, that's just a corner route. If you're playing over the top of as a safety, you certainly want to keep everything in front of you. Here's a nice run by the Bulldogs off the left side.
Yeah, Garcia's going to be taken down by Stell, but not before Chase wraps him up 9 yards into the route, or into the run, rather. It's going to be 2nd and 1 after that 9-yard pickup. They're out near the midfield.
I think if Easton Hernandez stays outside on that play and doesn't allow the runner to bounce, that probably gets stopped for about 3 or 4, but the Bulldogs did a good job blocking it, and they have 2nd and 1 from the Bulldog 49-yard line.
So up front, Seth Reed, Braden Hunt, Josh Ramos, Carlos Baeza, Spencer Blue. That's the offensive line for the Bulldogs. He's going to whip the ball out here to the right. Washington will have the ball again.
Adeyemi there on the coverage coming up from the corner position. He's playing cover 2, which is the flat, and just came off of his receiver when the ball was thrown. Make a nice open field tackle, but it is a Bulldog first down.
Yep, 6 yards on that one, and good enough for a first. Matt Jones, Keyshawn Wright, and Jake Parchman up front. Kyle will hit the linebackers and defensive secondary after this play. Now they have DQ Harris in the ball game. Harris will go left. Harris is going to get 10 yards or more. Going to be very close to what he needs for a first. Go ahead and hit on those guys if you would.
The linebackers outside are number 20, Easton Hernandez, and number 33, Cameron Martinez. Inside linebackers are 2 of the best, I think, in the district. Tanner Adams, number 47, and Andy Notley, number 32. You see a whole host of Panthers make the play there. The safeties and corners, Christian Schauner at the right corner, number 5. Rahid Adeyemi, number 29 at left. We'll get the 2 safeties after this.
Permian gave up 237 yards rushing last week to Tascosa. They certainly don't want to have that happen tonight with Midland. Go ahead.
The 2 safeties for the Permian Panther defense, senior number 21, Keaton Armstrong, and junior number 22, Chase Stell. Well, that's a good play on by the defense right there. Logan Phillips getting some playing time, and I think it might have been Jake Parchman also in as well there. Couldn't tell if that was a 62 or a 52.
Look for Sapien to throw it, looking right, has a man open. Is that going to be a catch? I think so, and that is going to be the Midland High transfer, Midland Christian transfer, Randall Blanchette. He and Peyton Powell were teammates last year for Midland Christian. How often is it, and the answer is never, that you have 2 players playing for one school one year and then transferring to different high schools and playing against each other the next year? I mean, college and pro, yeah, but not high school.
And on opposite sides of the ball, Peyton, of course, playing quarterback for the Panthers, and then of course Blanchett playing offense for the Bulldogs. So they're not they're not going to see each other.
Nope. In fact, last year Blanchett caught 30% of Powell's passes, 40% of the yardage, and 25% of Peyton's touchdowns. So he was the #1 receiver to Peyton Powell last year for Midland Christian. Now Midland Christian, when Powell transferred to Permian, I'll tell you the rest of the story here in just a second. That ball may have hit the ground.
It did.
Ball was tried to get it into Nick Bayano. When he transferred to Permian, then the backup quarterback to Sapien at Midland High, kid by the name of Riggs McDonald, transferred to Midland Christian. Now they haven't missed a beat. They lost their only game of the year last week. They're 7-1. And so McDonald's apparently done pretty well, and so is Powell, and so is Blanchett.
Midland Christian's usually been very, very good year after year. That's not a good throw.
Nope, they just did not communicate. That's Campbell Keithley. Keithley, the leading receiver with 26 catches. Blanchett had 20 coming into tonight, and he missed the first 2 ball games. The other guys they like to throw to, you've already seen one of them, Des Washington, Nick Bayano, and a guy by the name of Unique Lee.
Unique Lee?
Yeah, so you have Unique Lee and you have Sudden Sapien. So now on to try the field goal. Is going to be from 36 yards away. It is up, and it is no good. That was Ivan Campos, who had 6 field goals before that miss. Long of only 32, and that would have been his longest of the season. It fell under the crossbar, so maybe 35 is about his maximum. We'll keep that in mind for later on in the ball game. So a drive that started back on the Midland 24 fizzles out at the Permian 20, and now the problem is that the Permian offense is now trotting back on the field to face that Midland High defense.
And you can bet they sure want to get another score of some kind on the board, Barry, to kind of start putting the foot on the throat, if you will, of the Bulldogs tonight.
Well, they'll start with 4:04 to play in the quarter at the 20.
Well, they read that play. They definitely scouted the reverse by Permian very well there. That's going to be about a 2-yard loss as the defensive end and the outside linebacker here stayed at home, and Permian's going no huddle, trying to run some tempo here.
Now, Hammond's really not been able to be very effective running the ball the last couple of weeks. Is what kind of surprising. Well, I take that back. He had 7 for 50 last week. I think that's pretty effective.
But he had one very big catch at the end of the ball game.
Oh, boy, did he ever. Perfectly thrown by Peyton Powell to win the ball game up at Tascosa. So now Powell's looking to run or throw. They got him in the grasp. He tries to throw the ball across the field. He does have Williams there, so it's not going to be grounding. And so now it's going to bring up a 3rd and a good 12 needed, as they will need to get out to their 30 for a first down.
Let's introduce our referee and officiating crew tonight, Barry, while we have a minute. Dan Rakin is the referee, Ralph Santana the umpire, David Lee the line judge, my good friend and buddy Chris Harlow the head linesman, and the back judge Corey Marshall. This is a Permian Basin chapter officiating crew. Chris and I coached together at Hood Junior High 1 year on the 8th grade level.
Who do you not know?
Well, there's a few, but I do know quite a few people.
So they drop the ball off to Williams, and he just walks right into the defender, and it's going to be a 4th down, as there to completely mess up the works was Ethan Reese. And Reese just simply grabbed a hold of Williams, said, "How do you do?" and put him on his backside.
They tried to run a little middle screen there. I'm talking about Permian offensively, and the Bulldogs played it very well up front. Just kept their eye on Ed Williams as he slid into the middle of the line, and they made the tackle. And, boy, the Permian offense, 3 plays, minus 2 yards on that drive.
First reception for Williams this year, and it goes nowhere. Fair catch made by Sean Porter. So Midland High now on their 3rd possession of the night. They have started from their 20, their 24, and now the best field position of the night from their 31.
Well, give the Midland High defense for stepping up there, Barry, and bringing that Panther offense to a halt on that series. Just nothing seemed to click right at all, and now the Panther defense on the 3rd drive that Midland High has the ball here has got to do the same thing to the Midland High offense.
Now, when they throw the ball, they're going to want to get the ball to 18 and 83. That's his main 2 targets. But this quarterback we're talking about, Sutton Sapien, he can run the ball very effectively coming into the game. 830 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns. So he is within 170 of being the first Midland player in their program history to top the 1,000-yard passing and rushing mark. And with a couple of games left after tonight, he's got a good shot at getting what he needs to be the first to do that.
Manny Ramirez, number 92, in for the ball game, making that tackle for absolutely no gain at all for the Bulldogs on first down.
And now for the weekly baseball joke.
Yeah, I didn't know Manny Ramirez had come out of retirement to play high school football. Whoa, what a hit.
Yeah, Sapien gets the ball into Washington, and he gets pummeled from the backside, and whoop, ball comes out. Third down and about 11.
That is Keaton Armstrong. Watch our Trans Global Productions instant replay. Just a quick slant. Keaton read it very well, timed his hit perfectly, and jarred the ball loose. Here's a 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own almost 31-yard line.
Hadn't really got any pressure on him so far, have we?
No, but the defense has been, the coverage for the most part has been pretty good other than a couple passes on that last drive. And let's see if the Panthers can get the Bulldogs off the field here. Here comes pressure now. And boy, I tell you what, Mr. Matt Jones, the guy we talk about all the time, from his defensive end position, number 18, put the pressure on Sapien there, and Sutton just did not want any part of Matt Jones there and forced a errant throw. 3 and out for the Bulldogs, and they're going to have to punt the football with 1:54 back to Permian in the first quarter.
So each team will have had the ball 3 times in the first quarter. That's a lot. Permian, though, will have it for the 4th time as we're just under 2 minutes. Stell is standing back around his 30, should get good field position. After this, let's see if he feels the bounce, which he does. Nope, backed away from it, and Permian will start at the 37-yard line.
Probably a good choice there, Barry, from the simple fact he couldn't get to the ball, probably without running and being under control. You don't want to turn the ball over there. That's a great choice by Seth Stell there, and just got the Panthers in pretty good field position on their own 42-yard line.
Yeah, Chase did a good job there for sure. So Powell, as I said, completing. What his completion percentage is somewhere 60%, which about to within 5% of what you really like to have. First down play will get a couple, and it will be 2nd down and about 8.
Clock rolling at 1:33. Permian trying to reestablish Ed Williams there on the dive off the right side. And
that last drive didn't go anywhere, and that one already went further than the last drive did on those 3 plays.
Yeah, so they're going to change personnel, I should say. And let's see, with the play clock down to 10, they may not have time to change play, look for something to come this way. There it is.
Surprised kind of that Powell hadn't run the ball yet. This will be Williams and get out to midfield for a nice gain of 11.
That's going to be a hold down here on the end, Barry. Going to take the ball back 10 yards. They got it blocked, except the holding call down here. This is Dan Rankin, our head referee, talking to a couple of the officials that are assisting him in this ball game tonight.
A scoring run of 64 by Williams. Put him over 1,000 for the season, so you have a 1,000-yard rusher and passer.
So it'll be a block below the waist, Barry. The rule is you cannot come from the outside in to block somebody who is coming from that direction inside out. I think that might have been what happened there. That's the call anyway, and it's a spot foul. They move the ball back to the Panther 41-yard line, so they'll get the down over 2nd and 6 from that spot.
Yep, so they are at the 41, need to get out to the 48 for a first down. What I was saying was I'm surprised Powell hasn't kept the ball yet. I don't think he's going to run it here. He's going to throw it, and Hammond will be held short of the first. He does make the catch.
He dropped the ball, Barry.
In that case, he'll be way short.
Yeah, I think he was more worried about maybe getting up the field or seeing the sideline and just didn't see the tuck. Those wide receiver coaches will tell you that when you're a receiver, the fundamental is to catch it with your hands, your eyes, Second one's to see the tuck, put it away, and then get what you can after that.
Well, they need to get out to the 47, close to the 48 for a first. Permian leading 14-0 on a couple of long-distance runs by Ed Williams. Well, he threw that one a little bit short and almost picked off by Smith Essman, the senior outside linebacker, 3-year starter. Midland.
Sorry, Barry. Watch the safety come over. He never saw the safety. Safety was reading his eyes, and he never saw that safety or defender coming from the middle of the field. You got to find him. And, boy, almost a turnover for the Panthers there.
Midland began organized UIL play back in 1920. They began playing Odessa High in the mid-1920s. Oh, that is a bad bounce out to the 32-yard line. They entered into district play with Odessa, Midland, Abilene, and San Angelo in 1952. The district as we knew it for so many years between Odessa, Midland, Angelo, and Abilene began in 1959, and that's when these two teams started playing each other. Permian has won 46 of the 59 games, and this is year number 30. Number 60.
Yep, and you imagine some of those old games sitting and watching them just grind it out on the ground. Probably didn't throw a whole lot.
Yeah, it was literally 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yep.
But since 2000, they have played 18 games, and Permian has won 10. Midland has won 8. That's how tight things have gotten.
Wow. And, of course, Midland High in the 90s and 2000s with Craig Yenzer as their coach really did a good job over there at Midland High bringing them back.
Yeah, turned the corner on them in a hurry and made it down to the title game against Converse Judson his second year. 12 minutes have gone by. We have played one quarter. Permian on the board twice in that quarter, and they lead after one, 14-0 over Midland High.
The Texas oil boom has returned, and Rexco Poly Fittings is your Lone Star choice in polyethylene, steel, and brass needs with a wide variety to choose from. Locally owned and operated in the Permian Basin since 1982, Rexco's experienced staff will help you get the right fittings and valves to help you get the job done. Go to RexcoPoly.com. Rexco, your poly supply company located in Midland and Odessa.
Rexco! Urgency. That's what you need from your emergency room. After returning home from a mission trip with his son, Chris became ill. The personalized care and follow-up he received from ER staff at ORMC helped him to quickly return to what matters. When faced with the unexpected, your emergency is our emergency. At ORMC, we are here when you need us most. We love what we do, and we think it shows.
I am ORMC proud.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week is brought to you in part by the Odessa Booster Club, the Permian Booster Club, and Petroplex SWD Systems. So we begin the second quarter of play from the 32. The marquee game tonight is in Midland, where Lehigh is hosting Amarillo Tascosa. Odessa High, in a must-win game, is playing at Wolfforth Friendship. Adeyemi making the tackle on the quarterback, Sapien.
That's a beautiful open field tackle on the zone read. Watch him widen. He didn't take the bad angle to make the tackle. give up a few yards, but what a nice open field tackle. And as we've talked about on this broadcast many times, they don't go anywhere if you take their legs out.
One more thought on that Odessa High-Wolforth game is that Charles McClure has been cleared to play in that ball game up at Wolforth. And so hopefully he's able to get back on the field. He is definitely the heart and soul of that team. At least the three of us feel that way. Too much time, I think.
Yep, I believe that's going to be a delay of game. Dan Rankin will tell us. Not picking up his mic tonight, but it is a 5-yard penalty, and that'll take them back on be making this now 3rd and 11 from the Bulldog 31-yard line. Big play for the Panther defense here. See if they can get them back off the field and get that ball back to the offense. They need maybe another score before the half, maybe 2 even.
46 of the 94 completions by Sapien have been to those 2 guys I mentioned earlier, Blanchette and Keithley.
But Barry, did you see that interception right there?
I did not.
Well, watch the replay here as Tanner Adams, our Transglobal Productions instant replay. Watch Tanner Adams just move. I think he's spying Sudden Sapien right here because Sapien keeps his head up, which you want your quarterback to do, but he just got in the way of the receiver right there. That is a great athletic play by Tanner Adams, the first turnover of the ball game. And the Panthers are set up in business in Bulldog territory at the 28-yard line.
That's the second pick of the year for Adams. And sets them up in great field position, deep in territory of the Bulldogs. Going to hand the ball off inside, and Ed has really nowhere to go as he runs up behind his the left side of his line, Gann, Bruce, and Ojos. Going to be 2nd and... what about 8?
Debbie, could we see that play right quick possibly? I want to show our fans what the outside linebackers, maybe we can here if we get a view of it. The outside linebackers are so wide, they're not going to let Permian get out there.
So they're going to pitch the ball back to Hammond. Hammond will have down to the 18-yard line and very close to what he needs for a first. Now we're going to look at that earlier play here in just a moment.
Watch right here. The outside linebacker, number 20 and number 33, are so far wide. Permian did get it blocked on that play, but they're trying to take the outside edge game of the Permian Panther offense away. And Permian's just going to keep pounding it up inside with Ed Williams and see if they can bust him, which they played that pretty good right there. I'm talking about Midland High. Outside linebacker Smith Essman, we've called his name. Barry has a few times already tonight.
No, we haven't for 3 years now.
Yeah, the senior outside linebacker for the Bulldogs, number 45, made a great play right there.
Held him to 2 yards, so 2nd and 8 from the 16-yard line. Permian already has a 14-0 lead thanks to Williams' runs of 36 and 64 yards, where he blasted right up the middle and there was nobody to catch him.
Well, that play was doomed, Barry. They fumbled the snap. Peyton did. He tried to recover it, which he did, and then he pitched the ball outside, and Hammond couldn't get a hold of it. And watch right there. It was a disaster from the moment the ball was snapped. Permian had a few chances to get it, but it is the first turnover of the ball game for the Permian Panthers, and it is a 1st and 10 for the Bulldog offense at their 34-yard line, and there's a few Panther coaches down the sideline that are not very happy with how that went.
Well, they were -3 before tonight. Then they became -2 with the interception. Now back to 3 under. You never want to be in negatives in the ratio of fumble recoveries and interceptions. Garcia on the pitch will get about, looks like 7, 8, almost 9. Going to mark him at the 42-yard line.
Good job
of 43,
good job
actually.
Of blocking that off the edge over there, the Bulldogs did.
Yep, so 2nd and very short. Going to be a run by Sapien, who's going to have barely gets the first. Shawner will run him out of bounds. You get out of here. You get out of here. Well, he got enough for the first before Shawner could get rid of him.
Yeah, they like to run the zone read off their shotgun formation. I'm talking about Midland High offensively, and Sapien made the right read there, pulled the ball as the end came down. End man on the line of scrimmage is who he read, which was the end, as I said, and just got outside enough. Shawner played it pretty good, but not enough to keep the Bulldogs from getting a first down.
This offense averages 413.7 yards a game. Going to whip the ball out to Garcia, who's going to have a few yards. Daniel Garcia's first catch of the season. Averaged 228 rushing, 185 passing. About 5.5 every time they run the ball to Permian's defense, giving up about 4.5 every time that an opponent runs the ball against them.
Panthers are pretty tough against the run, and they certainly have seen some people who can run the ball, especially that bunch from Amarillo, Tascosa. The Rebels really like to run the football.
So Sapien will look down the field. Shawner has good position.
Yeah.
Just uses that sideline to push the receiver out of the way, and they could not connect it to Randall Blanchette. Now let's see, giving up the run. Gave up 237 last week to Tascosa, 279 to South Lake Carroll, 208 to Franklin. And that South Lake Carroll, by the way, that's that kid there, T.J. McDaniel, the third in a long line of McDaniel kids to run the ball. His older brother plays for Notre Dame, so he comes from great stock. Now they tried to get the ball again to Washington, and it bouncy, and is incomplete and will force Sapien to have to punt the ball away.
They had a man in the flat open at the top of the screen. Sapien decided he was just going to go ahead and try to fit that ball in between the two defenders and give the two defenders, I believe that was Stell and Shawner up there, really played it well. I'm talking about in the Panther, that was Armstrong actually, and Shawner on that side that did a good job of making that play and holding them to another punt.
Now they punted the ball. Well, let me think. 1, 2. So this is the third punt of the game for Permian.
It's a pick, Barry. That's a pick, Barry. They faked the punt, and I believe Sapien is their punter, right? Yes.
Right.
Watch a replay.
And I think it was Adams that intercepted it.
I believe you're right. Second turnover for Adams, and he's just reading the number 41 there for the Midland High Bulldogs that went out for the pass. He did his responsibility, and a second turnover for the Bulldogs. Now the Panther offense needs to get going here, Barry.
Yeah, they just started a moment ago after the interception by Adams and didn't get anything or do anything with it. So now they're going to go back to Hammond. I was thinking 88 team, I guess, for a second there. So Hammond runs the ball from the 41 of Permian all the way down to the, can you see where they marked him at?
41-yard line, Barry, of Midland High.
So 41 to 41, that's 18 yards.
Yep.
So 18 yards for Hammond on first down, already better than the last two drives for him. And I'm sure they had a discussion on the sideline about if the ball is fumbled around, just fall on the thing. Don't try to get fancy with it. As you always say, live to fight another down.
Yeah, take care of the football. You're exactly right. That was a beautiful run by Hammond right there on the first play, and then Ed Williams there for a nice about 3.5, 4-yard gain, according to our crack statistician, Mr. Thornhill, next to us. He's going to give him 4.
You believe he called you a crack statistician?
Well, better than calling him a crackhead, which we know he's not.
Well, no, but he's got a black eye, so it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Had some eye surgery this week, by the way, so I shouldn't make it sound any worse than it does. Caden Harrell, will he score?
Yes.
Caden, no, wait a second.
Yes,
no, they
yes.
marked him out of the 4-yard line, it looks like. Yeah, they mark him out of the 4-yard line for a gain of 33 yards, but Permian's going to set up, I think. Wait a second.
No, they're giving him the touchdown.
They're giving it to him, a 37-yard catch and run from our quarterback Peyton Powell to Caden Harrell. That's his first receiving TD of the season, and he puts Permian up by 3 touchdowns with the extra point. from Carson Roberts to come. Roberts true to the mark, and so with 7:45 to play before half, Permian has widened their lead out to 21 for them and nothing for the Bulldogs.
On a forbidden Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, we can't.
But Julia,
We're rivals.
I can love you and still hate your overrated school.
We have two different defensive philosophies. You're a base 4-3 cover 2, and I'm an
aggressive 3-4 with press coverage. I get it, but we both love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Ramon.
Touchdown, State!
Yes! In your face!
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week produced by Transglobal Productions, brought to you in part by Rosa's Cafe and Tortilla Factory and Odessa Regional Medical Center. Now the 37-yard Powell to Horrell pass, 3 plays, 59 yards in only 51 seconds. That's how you do it. Horrell didn't catch a pass last week. Good to have him. I said his first score of the season. I take that back. He had one against Broward of 14 yards, so his second of the season, and for Powell, that is number 11 on the year. What'd you think of that?
Well, I thought it was fantastic, and it was a great route design by the Panther coaching staff. Horrell was in the slot, and he just ran a little out and up. We call that a wheel route on the passing tree, and Peyton put it right on the money. And, boy, Horrell did the rest on a great athletic effort.
So Midland High back on offense again as they trail now by 3 scores.
That's a
ball is on the ground, I think.
That's a tough run by their running back right there, Barry. I think that's 21, isn't it?
No, that's Garcia.
Garcia. Watch him right here, our Transglobal Productions instant replay. Permian played it pretty well, and you can see number 21, Keaton Armstrong, who's been very active in the first half here, gets very physical coming from the safety position to hold him to a 2-yard gain.
Yep, 2nd and 8. Now Sapien, well, they're going to run it. I thought they'd throw it. Well, unfortunately, the running back ran right into Easton Hernandez, who had some help from Adams, and he was not going to go anywhere after that combo hit him.
Well, that's Easton Hernandez's responsibility in the 3-4 defense. As an outside linebacker, he has D-gap or outside responsibility where the tackle or tight end would be, depending on how the offense lines up. Easton's job is to make sure nobody gets outside his outside shoulder, and that's exactly what he did there.
So now they're going to face a 3rd and a full 10. Sapien's going to throw the ball. Nope, going to try to run it. He's going to be well short of what he needs. That was a bad decision. And he's going to be run out of bounds, and that's that.
It's a good decision because, Barry, the Permian secondary had everyone covered, blanketed like a blanket, if you'll allow me to do that. And all Sapien could do was just get what he could and don't force another turnover and give the Panthers the ball on a short field. They're going to have to punt the football to them with 6:23 left in the second half, second quarter.
What do you bet he punched the ball?
I bet they punt the ball here too, Barry. I think that's a good call by Coach Sykes down there.
So it'll be Permian back on offense. Peyton Powell 2 of 7 tonight and 37 yards. Wisely moving away from the ball, and Permian will start here from the 33. They started from the 41 a moment ago. Okay, let's get an assessment on what's happened so far.
Well, I think Permian defense has just been phenomenal. Midland High had the one drive that they got down there on the first quarter and missed the field goal on. Panthers didn't break, just bent a little bit. But the Panther defense has been fantastic. And after the first two drives offensively for Permian, the last drive was executed very well. Now let's see if Permian maybe tries to eat a little clock here, and I bet they still think maybe another touchdown would be pretty nice here. A little play action.
6.5 left before halftime, and pass batted up in the air.
That's to the short side of the field. Watch our Trans Global Productions instant replay. Blocking to the right. They want the Midland High defense to flow that way, and Peyton tried to sidearm it. I'm not sure if he was trying to get that to, looks like number 6 for the Panther offense, Ramage, but he was covered too. I think Peyton, they'll probably talk to him in the half about just eat the ball, get what you can, live to play on second down.
And by the way, that touchdown pass to Harrell earlier. Now Midland comes up with another fumble down to the 24-yard line. And for the second time tonight, are going to be starting in Permian side of the field.
Yeah, hit him right in the face mask. Caden's got to see the ball just like a receiver. He's got to see it into his hands, and I think into his tuck position before he wants to get up the field and run. Now here's a big turnover. It could give the Bulldogs some momentum with 6:05 left in the second quarter. And let me remind everybody, I talk about it on our broadcast all the time, the Bulldogs do get the football to start the third quarter. Hopefully this won't be a 14-point turnaround against the Panthers.
You just get that thought out of your head.
Yeah.
So now starting from the 23-yard line of Permian after the turnover, going to hand the ball off inside and get maybe a yard, if that, as the Panther defense just absolutely grabbed a hold of him, Jones, and Matt gets a hold of you like we've talked about many times. You're probably not going to get away.
And the Panther defense is winning the line of scrimmage right now, Barry.
Yep, allowed 2 yards there, so now they're going to hand the ball off again. This is going to be DQ Harris. Harris is going to be down inside the 10 to the 9, and that'll be a first down.
Well, they got the edge blocked here, Barry. Watch our Trans Global Productions instant replay. They got the outside linebacker blocked. You can see it right there. It's Easton Hernandez almost really basically getting double teamed by the slot and another receiver out here. And a good job of blocking it. Boy, the Bulldogs have the ball 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Now they have the ball 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line.
And that's inside linebacker Andy Notley. And number 92 for the Permian Panthers on defense, Manny Ramirez again in on the tackle, but a good first down gain. You can see momentum kind of going to white and gold right now.
Sapien's going to keep it and just uses that huge body of his, 6'3", 210, to push into the end zone for his 17th rushing touchdown of the season. Midland's on the board for the first time. Permian at 21-6. With Ivan Campos, who is 91%, on extra points coming out to try to add the 7th point for Midland.
Turnovers, Barry. You just can't have them. Even with a 3-touchdown lead, they've given this Bulldog team a little bit of life now.
I remember about 3 or 4 years ago when Permian went into that swoon. It started up at Wolforth when they had an 18-point lead at halftime, and then the wheels came off and lasted for another 3 weeks after that ball game. Don't want to see that tonight. 4:45 to play before half. Permian has plenty of time to put another one on the board. It is Permian 21 and the Bulldogs 7.
Number 7, Sapien.
Forrest Brothers Tire and Alignment has kept you rolling since 1944. With 3 generations of ownership and 4 generations of management, Forrest Brothers Tire and Alignment carries the complete lines of Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. And we offer more than just tires, be it brakes or shocks. Your vehicle's best friend is Forest Brothers Tire and Alignment. With 24-hour road service, you can count on us for all your tire and automotive needs. Forest Brothers Tire and Alignment, with the largest fleet of service trucks in West Texas.
Wake up to eggs cooked to perfection, savory bacon, sausage and chorizo, and hot, fresh flour tortillas. Drive through for breakfast at Rosa's Cafe. Rosa's combines all your favorites into tasty breakfast tacos and serves them hot and fresh to get your day started right. Or try Rosa's Migas plate with beans and potatoes. Feeding a group? Rosa's breakfast taco platter is the perfect fit. So rise and shine. Life and breakfast is better at Rosa's Cafe.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week, produced by Trans Global Productions. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fanville. Brought to you in part by Forest Brothers Tire and Alignment and Medical Center Hospital. Well, after the fumble on the pitch back to Harrell that went awry, Midland takes the ball 23 yards, 4 plays, minute 20. Sapien pushes the scrum into the end zone to put Midland on the board for the first time tonight. And they lead Permian leads by 21-7.
Did he fumble it?
A few weeks ago, we played the international team of Broward. Remember that?
Yep. That was a slaughter.
Yeah, the team we were supposed to play was West Park Prep. Now, this got me thinking about the odd names throughout mainly Texas on mascots. I don't know if I told you or not, the mascot for West Park Prep is the Crimson Trunk Elephants. Yeah, can you believe that? I've got a couple of more I'll tell you about here in a second.
That should be the mascot of the Republican Party, Barry.
Yeah. Well, apparently somebody submitted that and it got taken by the student body. Conway, Arkansas has a high school with their nickname is the Wampus Cats. Last week there was a game in Georgia between the Savannah Bananas and the Lexington County Blowfish.
Wow. Named after Hootie, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
the
so.
Blowfish.
Some of the Texas teams that have some weird names: the Winters Blizzards, Hamlin Pied Pipers, my favorites, the Trent Gorillas.
Trent Gorillas, 6-man football between here and Abilene.
Yeah, Calhoun Sand Crabs. How's that for a name?
I think Ted Wilman, who used to coach here, every time we'd go through on the way to Abilene, he'd always say, "There's the Trent Gorillas."
Yeah, well, it's going to be close to a first. He's going to be about a yard short. They hand the ball off to Williams. Going to be about a yard short. Let's see if they go for it here with a 21-7 lead. Here's some more of the Crest Kangaroos, the New Braunfels Unicorns.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
The Frost Polar Bears. That's a good one. What else? Grandview Zebras, Roscoe Plowboys.
The Plowboys, yep.
The Cuero Gobblers.
Looky here, Permian going to roll the dice. Now they're going to call timeout and talk about it.
They're going to talk about it and have to call a timeout and see, do we really want to go for it? If they do come back and decide to go for it on fourth down, they are 12-19 this season. So 3:42 to play between the Panthers and Bulldogs. Two conventional names. Permian leads it by 21-7.
For great flooring values and real customer service, forget the frustration of the big box stores. Paul Evans trained flooring professionals will save you time, money, and hassle on your next flooring project. Whether do-it-yourself or professionally installed, Paul Evans offers great values on carpet, tile, hardwood, and waterproof flooring. Paul Evans Flooring, Odessa and Midland. For over 30 years,
You just can't beat a Paul Evans deal.
E&E Service and Supply is your leader in well service supplies and rig packages. We manufacture oil savers, rod transfers, rod strippers, pipe wiper blocks, weight indicators and pads, rope sockets, drop valves, guy line blocks, swab mandrels, fishing tools, slip cylinders for Advance, BJ, and Giberson, and a whole lot more. Please come by E&E Service and Supply at 3501 Brazos.
Texas Burger Ice Cream, the cool end to a great meal.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week brought to you in part by Odessa College and by Complex Community Federal Credit Union. So Permian was going to go for it. They called timeout. Looks like they're still going to go for it. It's going to be a long two.
Nah, they're going to punt it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see the punter back there.
How about your names? How about the Carlsbad Cavemen?
I didn't know that one.
Yep.
So the first punt of the night, only the 11th punt of the season for Carson Roberts. A couple more Robstown Cotton Pickers. I like that one. Monday Moguls. And the Hutto Hippos.
Hutto Hippos.
First punt of the night for Permian. Had some things rocking and rolling, then suddenly got shut down. And so now with a 21-7 lead, 3.5 to play before halftime. Midland will start from their 14, and we've given the ball to them a couple of times, so it's only fair that they give the ball back. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I think it was a good choice, Barry, to punt the football. If you don't pick it up, you get Midland High. Again, momentum and a short field here. Now you're going to make them put some plays together.
Well, they just completely got all over the running back. Seppian took it back at the last minute. Adeyemi, along with Cameron Martinez, make the tackle. And it's going to be enough for a first down as he's out from the 14 out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 11 out of what could have been maybe about a 2-yard loss.
Matt Jones destroyed the running back. That's why Sapien pulled it.
Yeah.
And you know what, Barry?
Surprised he was able to pull it back.
I kind of feel like Midland High is gaining some confidence right now.
Going to hand the ball up the middle, and DQ Harris is going to get a good amount, about 7 yards on first down. It's going to be 2nd and 3.
They ran an inside linebacker stunt or twist with the two inside linebackers, Notley and Adams, and they kind of took themselves out of the play there on that stunt, and that's why Midland High, a nice about 7-8 yard gain. This will be a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1 is all they needed, not 3, and it's going to be first down. Harris will get them out near the 40-yard line. DQ Harris coming into the ball game, leading ball carrier, 401 yards, averaging 4.7. Had 3 touchdowns on the year, so that will be first down.
Jake Parchman from his nose tackle position to make the play there.
Permian defense is kind of bending a bit here in the middle going,
and I think a part of that has to do with old momentum a little bit, man. You see, like I said, the Bulldog offense now is showing a little spunk in life. Andy Notley in on that tackle, I believe, there. For the Panthers, clock running at 1:52. Bulldogs have all 3 of their timeouts. I expect them to air it out here.
Yeah, need to get some Mo back. Nope. They run the ball inside. Hernandez is there to make sure he doesn't go anywhere, along with Adams. And who else is there as well? Did you see the other number?
I saw Hernandez. I saw the same 2 numbers you did. I was marking the tackle for Easton Hernandez. I'm kind of surprised at that call, Barry. I thought they might see them throw it down the field there. Here's 3rd and 11. Panther defensive front is probably going to pin their ears back, watch for some kind of bubble or screen. Maybe some kind of, maybe a deep end. I expect the Panthers to play zone here. See if there's a deep end here.
Midland has 3 timeouts left. Permian used their first one a moment ago, so Sapien's going to run it after trying to throw the ball. Now, how's that for a tackle? Guess who?
1 and an 8.
Yep. Matt Jones able to click the heels together, but it did not send Sapien off to Kansas. Instead, it's going to force Sudden Sapien to punt the ball, and Permian will get it back with hardly any time left before halftime.
And what you're taught as a defensive end, Barry, when you're on the rush, is if you're on an outside rush and you get your head up and see that you've passed the quarterback, you have to stop and come back inside. Coach Lee Raby used to really talk a lot about that when he coached this Panther defense with Darren Allman and the staff here. Raby would teach those defensive ends, when you pass the quarterback, stop and retrace and work back toward him, and that's what Matt Jones did there.
So 17 seconds is all we have left before half. Permian 21, Midland 17.
BCM and Associates Incorporated, the Oilfield Undertaker. BCM provides turnkey services to plug and abandon oil and gas wells in the Permian Basin. BCM has 7 highly trained plugging crews based in Odessa and Hobbs, New Mexico. BCM will prepare and file regulatory forms. We also buy leases for production and salvage. Go to bcmandassociates.com for services, pipe, plus equipment for sale. bcmandassociates.com. The Oilfield Undertaker.
Diamond Pump and Transport LLC specializes in oil field transportation. We are locally owned and operated and do business in the Permian Basin and West Texas areas. We also provide hot oil service, acid pumping, water hauling, tank cleaning, and other types of oil field transport and hauling services. We invite you to call us today. Diamond Pump and Transport LLC, 432-617-8084.
What's freshness? It's delicious ham and farm fresh eggs wrapped in a warm flour tortilla. It's ground beef cooked fresh throughout the day and seasoned with just the right spices to make the best taco you've ever tasted. It's hot golden French fries smothered with chili and cheese. Taco Villa cooks your favorites all day long to ensure freshness you can taste. Taco Villa, freshness fanatics love.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week, produced by Trans Global Productions, brought to you in part by Paul Evans Carpet and Flooring. Go see Paul. And by Taco Villa. It is 21-7. I said 21-17. That's incorrect. There are 17 seconds left before half, and that's what kind of threw me off. What do you think is going to happen at halftime?
Well, I think there's going to be a serious discussion to the Panther offensive group about maybe letting down after 14-0 and up 21-0. They've had a couple of fumbles that you just can't have as a football team, Barry. I think there's going to be a strong discussion about having a sense of urgency, even though you're up 21-7 at the half. I know personally, from my standpoint, there would be a serious discussion about being up-tempo, playing with some urgency, taking care of the football, and don't give this bunch anything to try to gain off of, especially since Midland High gets the ball to start the third quarter.
All right, we have played 1/2 at Ratliff tonight in this very critical district ball game that Permian can use as a springboard to the playoffs. At the end of 1/2, they do have the lead. Permian 21 and the Midland Bulldogs 7.
The Texas oil boom has returned, and Rexco Poly Fittings is your Lone Star choice in polyethylene, steel, and brass needs with a wide variety to choose from. Locally owned and operated in the Permian Basin since 1982, Rexco's experienced staff will help you get the right fittings and valves to help you get the job done. Go to RexcoPoly.com. Rexco, your poly supply company located in Midland and Odessa.
Rexco!
Every day's a heavenly Sunday at Texas Burger.
On a forbidden Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, we can't.
But Julia,
We're rivals.
I can love you and still hate your overrated school.
We have two different defensive philosophies. You're a base 4-3 cover 2, and I'm an
aggressive 3-4 with press coverage. I get it, but we both love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Ramon.
Touchdown, State!
Yes! Into your face!
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Petroplex SWD Systems is honored to sponsor the game of the week. As football fans, we're looking forward to a great season. Just as us West Texans take pride in the Falcons, so does Petroplex SWD Systems take pride in being a premier saltwater disposal service provider. With locations spanning from Glasscock to northern Andrews County, we are strategically positioned to handle all of your saltwater disposal needs. We understand that SWD facility downtime affects your bottom line. Therefore, we make proactive maintenance a priority and are prepared to quickly address any facility issues. If you are looking for a saltwater disposal solution for current or future project development, give us a call. We're always looking to expand and are looking forward to a bright and prosperous future with UTPB and the community. On behalf of everyone at Petroplex SWD Systems, go Falcons. Enjoy the game.
Wake up to eggs cooked to perfection, savory bacon, sausage and chorizo, and hot, fresh flour tortillas. Drive through for breakfast at Rosa's Cafe. Rosa's combines all your favorites into tasty breakfast tacos and serves them hot and fresh to get your day started right. Or try Rosa's Migas plate with beans and potatoes. Feeding a group? Rosa's breakfast taco platter is the perfect fit. So rise and shine. Life and breakfast is better at Rosa's Cafe.
What a wonderful halftime show tonight, put on by both marching bands for Permian and for Midland. In fact, Kyle was out watching all of the festivities at halftime, and Saturday at Ratliff, all of you had a chance to see these wonderful bands in action, so hopefully you had a chance to take it in. Well, the score at half, Permian 21, the Bulldogs 7. Statistically, Kyle can probably tell you that they lean heavily in Permian's favor as well.
Well, they do, and the most interesting statistic from the first half is the fact that Ed Williams, the all-everything running back from Odessa Permian, number 27, had 12 carries for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has more rushing offense than the Midland High Bulldogs have total. Our statistics show that Midland High had 129 total yards in the first half to, like I said, Ed Williams had 140 on his own. Panther throwing game struggled in the first half, however. Peyton Powell, 2 of 8 for 37. By the way, we do want to mention at this point, if you don't know, that Peyton Powell this week did verbally commit to spend his next 4 years hopefully playing football at the University of Texas in Austin.
But he was listed as an athlete, not as a quarterback, so could play receiver, defense, who knows.
Yeah, they'll decide.
Once he gets there.
Tom Herman's group will decide that. Yeah, just a couple of other statistics. Only leading pass catcher for the Panthers, number 39, Harrell, had that one catch up the sideline here for a 37-yard touchdown. Panthers only had 3 first downs in the first half to 8 for Midland High. They were led rushing the ball by DQ Harris, 11 carries, 39 yards, and receiving the ball, kind of a surprising statistic, is Dez Washington, 2 receptions for 16 yards. So Sudden Sapien, 4 of 13 for 32 and 2 interceptions. That's not going to get it done for Midland High either. And watch out, they're off to the races to start the third quarter in excellent field position at the Panther 46-yard line.
And Carson Roberts slowed down the return game enough there that the rest of his mates came up to help make the tackle. So Odessa High is playing in Wolford tonight. I don't know where I was going with that. Midland High is here at Ratliff, and they will start at the 48-yard line. Yeah, we're not on my game here to start the second half.
Look at that. Look at
start
that.
At the Permian 47, rather.
Look at that picture of the moon coming up over the far side or east side stands of the of Ratliff Stadium here as the Bulldogs start this possession.
So Sapien will throw the ball into the turf. And that should be an incomplete pass. And Permian scored on Williams' runs of 36, 64. A pass to Harrell of 37. Sapien scored the only TD for Midland High on a 3-yard run. So Williams had 100 of his yards on those 2 carries to start things out. It was 70 degrees when we started tonight. It's cooled down to 66 already, and down to 63 probably by the time the ball game is over. 10-mile visibility. South-southwest wind 9 with no gust whatsoever. So it's a very pleasant night here at the old ball yard. And so the run's going to be for about 3, or actually 4, so it's going to be 3rd and 6.
Andy Notley from his inside linebacking position had an excellent first half for the Panthers. I have him unofficially now with 5 tackles in the ball game.
And you don't want Midland to get on the board here to narrow the score down to 21-14. It is 21-7 at the moment.
That might have been the discussion by Coach A to Z and his staff, as they could get on the board here and make Permian very nervous as they execute a nice running play there up the middle.
For 10 yards.
Yeah, for a first down. Cameron Martinez making the play from his outside linebacking position, but right now the Panther defense has got to bow up.
Yep, they mark him at the 34-yard line, so the gain was 9. But, yeah, Hernandez made the tackle, or Martinez rather made the tackle, but not before he got ridden literally on the back of the running back all the way down to the 34-yard line. So that great return on the second half opening kickoff has set Midland up in great field position. Notley's going to be in there on the tackle along with some other guys. And it's going to be a good gain of about 3 on first, bringing up a 2nd and 7.
Good play by the inside linebacking core, as you said, Barry, to fill that hole, really shut it down in a hurry. Again, led by Andy Notley for only a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, now they need to unleash the beast of number 18 and try to get some negative yardage going. Going to hand the ball off to DQ Harris, who's going to be a couple of yards short of what he needs for a first. Off the bottom of the pile is Stell, and that's not good when your safety's making tackles in the run game.
No, they got the edge blocked outside to the left there, Barry, and you're exactly right. When your safety has to come down and make the tackle on the second level, the Midland High getting the blocking done at the point of attack. Permian's got to adjust.
Yep, 3rd and 2 now. They have to get to the Permian 24 for a first. They're looking to get within 7 of Permian. And this time the running game goes absolutely nowhere thanks to Jake Parchman, that big man mountain, number 62 in the middle of the line.
Well, just watch him knife through the A-gap there. He didn't get really touched at all. And I think we're going to see Midland High go for it here on 4th and about 4 yards from the Panther 28-yard line, 27.
The opponent's 4 of 14 on 4th down against Permian. Going to swing the pass out to DQ Harris, and Harris can't catch the ball. The defense has turned him away. And now the Permian offense will be back on the field, and we'll see if Jeff Allison and the offensive staff have lit a fire under that offense, as Kyle was wont to do. He was chomping at the bit as the first half ended, wanting to go down there and give him a fire and brimstone speech if he had to light a fire under him. And let's see if all of that's going to come to play here in the second half.
Just can't have the mistakes, Barry. I think that's what allowed this game to kind of stay as close as it has, even though the Panthers are up by 2 full scores. I think you've got to have a sense of urgency right here offensively.
Yeah, so they start from the 27. It's going to be Ed Williams, who had a good first half, went over 1,000 yards on the season for yet another year, out to the 31-yard line, so he gets 4 on his first foray of the second half. I really shouldn't go that deep into a dictionary doing these play-by-play things. So it's going to be second down. Harrell and Mates are going to be off to the right, including Hammond. Hammond was quiet in that first half, and usually he's the big play artist. And, man, they're going to face a 3rd and long, thanks to Smith Essman coming up and making the tackle again on Williams. 3rd and long means that they're going to be 3rd and about 7. And now correct me if I'm wrong. Has Peyton run the ball at all?
I don't believe he has a run in the first half. We don't have him listed here on the halftime statistics. It's been Williams, Hammond, and Harrell. So for some reason, they just in fact, Peyton threw off one of his knee braces there. So let's see if they can get out on the corner here and get the first down with Harrell, and they are.
Well, it's 3rd and 4. He needed to get to the 37. He got to the 41. So Caden Harrell, yabba-dabba-doo around the corner and gets the first down from Ojo.
Nice run by Caden right there. Good blocking around the left edge of the Panther offensive line. And they need to run the play because they're a Midland High not lined up there. Now, I tell you, this front, I think, is giving Permian some fits, like I talked about in the first half, with those 2 almost like tackles that are so far off the line. The offensive line can't get to them fast enough.
Harrell averaging 7.1 per carry. That was an 8-yard run that gave him the first down. Now back to the conventional Ed Williams run for 3 and a 2nd and 7. They've got to stay out of the 3rd and longs is what they've got to do.
I totally agree. And Panther offense talking to the lineman there about getting something blocked, and there they go, the Panthers wide to the far side, and we're going to have a late flag.
Well, Hammond's going to be short of the first. Let's see if it's going to be against the red or against the white, the black or the white. Is it going to be against the gold and purple, or is it going to be against the black and white?
That's Chris Harlow talking to our referee, Dan Rankin. It's another illegal chop block, Barry.
Good grief.
Well, you have to be, you just cannot go low if you're coming from the outside to the inside of the formation or the middle of the field. If you are wanting to block somebody, you need to stay up high. You need to get in front. If you can't see that person's number on the front of his jersey or his eyes,
don't touch him.
Leave him alone, yeah.
So it's going to set up a 2nd and 22. Permian only completed 1 pass, actually 2, I guess, in the first half. 1 for nothing. The other was for the 37-yard score to Harrell, who catches the ball here. Caden is on the move, and Caden's going to have close to a first down. Man, Harrell has been the man of the moment tonight along with Williams. Usually it's Hammond.
You can see that on our Transglobal Productions instant replay, Peyton wanted to throw the ball in the middle of the field. Caden just makes an athletic move once he catches the ball. And watch this little hurdle right here. Almost got the first down. It's 3rd and 1 for Permian.
Yep, just the 1 yard's all they're going to need. A 21-yard gain on that pass to Harrell.
Williams going to get the first down, Barry, off the dive to the left side there.
So the dive's going to be enough for the first to move the chains. Boy, they came out of a 2nd and 22 hole, didn't they, Kyle? And now are set up at the 47-yard line of Midland High. Opening drive of the second half for Permian. Midland High ran out of downs and had to turn the ball over with their first opening drive of the second half. So now Peyton Powell, have you talked about his commitment, right?
I did talk about his commitment this week to the University of Texas. That is a verbal commitment. I don't believe that he can make a written commitment until sometime in December.
Right, and then, of course, the signing day is in February.
I believe so.
Ramage, the intended target there. Well, the passing game's a bit off. It's 2nd and 7 from the 2nd and 10 from the 47. Passing game has just kind of been sputtering a bit. Of course, that Harrell score sure made things look a whole lot better. Half the coaching staff is out in the huddle for some reason.
They're giving the signals, Barry.
But you're allowed to be 15 yards out.
Well, you can't be past the numbers. Oh, my goodness, we fumbled the ball.
Again. Well, he pitched the ball to Williams. Williams dropped it on the turf, but luckily he just falls on it this time instead of trying to pick it up and run with it. But look what it sets up, Kyle, 3rd and 15.
Well, you just can't have these. That's a mental mistake, Barry, is all that is. It's a mental mistake, not taking care of the responsibilities and fundamentals of securing the football. I bet that's going to be a point of emphasis come Monday and Tuesday at the John Wilkins practice field.
Well, if they can get within 2 yards for a 4th down try, I bet they go for it on 4th. Again, nobody open. Finally, Powell just launches the thing way up in the air, and it's caught.
Catch that?
Yeah, I think it was caught, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Wow. It's caught by Ramage. Tyler Ramage, his 12th catch of the season at 11 for 158. Or rather 153 before that one, and that one's all the way down to the 19-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Well, this is just a great effort right there by Ramage. He was double covered, and Peyton just gave him a chance to get to the ball, and he did, and converted into another 1st down. Good job by that offensive line to give Peyton time to make that throw.
33-yard catch and run. Now they pitch the ball back to Hammond. Hammond's going to have the first, and it's going to be 1st and goal for Permian at the 8.
That's a good little quick pitch out to Hammond to the right side. Peterson, Reynolds, and Hinojos on the right side doing their job, along with Gann and Bruce on the backside just to create a crease there, and it's going to be a 1st and goal for the Panthers at the Bulldog 8-yard line. I'd like to see the Panthers punch this in and get a little more breathing room.
So Paul Freeman has checked into the ball game. That run by Hammond was 12 yards as they mark him at the 7 instead of the 8. So 1st and goal, it's Ed Williams time. Here comes Ed Williams up the middle. Head's going to be down to the 2-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 2, and that is definitely Powell or William punch it in time from that distance away from the goal line.
And what I like about that play, Barry, they read the way the defense was lined up, only one linebacker inside to the right, and they ran the ball to the left and got it blocked very nicely.
So the 12th play of the drive that started at the 9:06 mark. We're now down to about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the quarter. So it's been a long drive. Let's see if it can pay off, and it will, with Caden Harrell into the end zone for the score.
That's the man of the hour for the Permian Panthers right now. That's just a great job. Excuse me, as you see our Trans Global Productions instant replay, Caden wasn't going to be denied once he saw that hole open up off the left edge of the line, and he just lowered his shoulder and put the boom on the defender. And Harrell is in the end zone. Panthers have their 27th point of the night on the board.
Harrell from 2 yards out with his 2nd rushing score of the season. I said earlier when he scored on that 37-yard pass play that was his 2nd reception for a TD. That was his 1st because the 14-yarder was a rush against Broward way back in week 4. So Harrell into the end zone for the 2nd time this season, 1st time tonight. Rushing, he has a rushing score and a receiving score, and Permian has now widened the lead out to 28-7. Ed Williams, 153 yards rushing, and Permian is well in control with 3:28 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Let's go! The Texas oil boom has returned, and Rexco Poly Fittings is your Lone Star choice in polyethylene, steel, and brass needs with a wide variety to choose from. Locally owned and operated in the Permian Basin since 1982, Rexco's experienced staff will help you get the right fittings and valves to help you get the job done. Go to RexcoPoly.com. Rexco, your poly supply company located in Midland and Odessa. Let's go!
Enjoy the best cheeseburger in town at Texas Burger.
Panthers only had 3 first downs the first half. They had 4 on that drive. 12 plays, 73 yards in 5 minutes, 38 seconds. Harrell, player of the game so far with that 2-yard run. Dr. Pepper Game of the Week, produced by Trans Global Productions and brought to you in part by Diamond Pump and Transport and Petroplex SWD Systems, your saltwater disposal specialist. Feeling a little better now?
I feel a little more comfortable right now after that series of events with the Panther defense doing their job on the Bulldog first possession of the third quarter, and then the offense, even though a penalty and a couple of miscues, they executed offensively.
Well, they came back on those plays, those penalties, didn't they?
With Harrell and a big catch by Tyler Ramage to set up that touchdown to finish the drive.
Yeah, Ramage's catch was wonderful, and then Harrell certainly making sure his presence is known tonight. So Permian comes up with the interception. It's Keaton Armstrong's second pick of the season. And Keaton Armstrong has Permian with a 28-7 lead in great field position at the Midland 31.
He wanted to throw the quick slant, and I think the receiver up there looked like to me on our instant replay, our Trans Global Productions instant replay, he's running a little skinny post, and as you said, Keaton Armstrong just stepped in front of that and read it. It's a quick turnover, and more pressure on the Bulldog defense now. They've got to respond. Panthers, I think, are going for the kill here, Barry.
Yep, they're going to flip the kill switch for sure at 28-7, looking for the 35th point of the night. I want to bring up something else here in just a moment. So guess who's going to carry the ball here? Harrell, who has had they're really running with a hot hand. Now you'll know all about this by the time this airs on Sunday night. But Charles McClure with Odessa High was cleared to play tonight up at Wolforth. He did. Had an interception, but he also took the opening kickoff back for a score. So, man, welcome back to me, the heart and soul of that Bronco team, Charles McClure, who was hurt in the Permian game, back with a vengeance tonight.
Just a little simple dive play off the left there to keep the Bulldog defense honest. Going to bring up third and about 6. I think this is 4-down territory for the Panthers. So let's see if they try to get Hammond out wide to the top.
got to get to the 21-yard line for a first down. Now, they haven't been able really to, you know, they had that first interception and then ended up giving the ball back on a fumble. And then the other interception.
They got two guys in motion there, and that's not a good thing, Barry. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty. And I find something very interesting here, Barry. Number 26, Christian Rodriguez, is playing quarterback right now.
Well, look down there and see if you can find the man of the hour and see where he's at.
Don't see him behind the bench here.
So Christian Rodriguez is going to hand the ball off to Williams. Either that or look for number 4 to go in motion and get a pitch play and try to hit him on the right side.
Powell's got his helmet off at the 38-yard line. Maybe they're just giving him a break.
Well, with a 28-7 lead, I would think that.
Look at there.
Yeah, Christian's going to keep it and be within about a half a yard of what he needs for the first, so they're going to go for it on 4th down. If they didn't get it with the run, he had to get to the 21-yard line. Where are they going to mark him? Oh, they mark him back at the 24-yard line.
He was a little short there, Barry, but what a great read by Christian Rodriguez there. They're going for it.
Yeah, he's not that tall. You're right. So going to be 4th down, and they're going to need a full 2.
Get the ball wide, Barry. I could see either Harrell or Hammond going in motion and getting the pitch here. It's going to be Hammond. Well, that ball, that thing just really fell apart because nobody went on the snap. Coach Ellison is talking down here to the official about maybe Midland High barking the signals out, and it's a turnover on downs because of not very good execution by the Panther offense there.
Yeah, they're just not doing anything with the turnovers that they're getting.
No, and I think that will be another point of emphasis. Coach Ellison is not very happy right now.
Interception by Adams led to a fumble. Adams had another interception. And then just a moment ago, Keaton Armstrong had a pick and led to this.
Well, and Tanner Adams filling the play there on a run by, couldn't tell if that was if that was Sapien or if that was the back, but it went for absolutely nothing by about 1.5 yards as Tanner Adams read it from his inside linebacking position, just blew it up. He is something else to watch too. Really like to watch him and Matt Jones, and of course, like you talked about earlier, Charles McClure is somebody to watch on that Odessa High defense too.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3rd and long now as they go to the running game, and up there to make the tackle is Shawner for Permian. Well, a little bit later tonight, we'll have the Dr. Pepper players of the game. Have you kind of got an idea where you're going defensively?
I have a couple of ideas here right now. I think there's about 5 players that I could look at. I'll just throw you a few names. Parchman for one, Notley, Martinez, Adiemi, Shawner, and Armstrong. We come to the end of the 3rd quarter, Barry.
Yeah, Tanner Adams with 2 interceptions tonight as well. So we have played 3. Only score of the quarter, a 2-yard run by Harrell. Making the score at the end of 3, Permian 28 and Midland 7.
For great flooring values and real customer service, forget the frustration of the big box stores. Paul Evans trained flooring professionals will save you time, money, and hassle on your next flooring project. Whether do-it-yourself or professionally installed, Paul Evans offers great values on carpet, tile, hardwood, and waterproof flooring. Paul Evans Flooring, Odessa and Midland. For over 30 years,
you just can't beat a Paul Evans deal.
BCM and Associates Incorporated, the Oilfield Undertaker. BCM provides turnkey services to plug and abandon oil and gas wells in the Permian Basin. BCM has 7 highly trained plugging crews based in Odessa and Hobbs, New Mexico. BCM will prepare and file regulatory forms. We also buy leases for production and salvage. Go to bcmandassociates.com for services, pipe, plus equipment for sale. bcmandassociates.com. The Oilfield Undertaker.
Enjoy a Texas Burger chicken strip dinner today.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week, produced by Trans Global Productions. Brought to you in part by Taco Bell and BCM and Associates, the oil field undertaker. All right, as we begin the fourth quarter of play, it is going to be a critical 3rd down and 6 for Midland. They need to get to the Permian 35 for a first.
And they're fixing to have 5 more yards to deal with as the left guard jumped there, Barry, before the snap.
We'll take it. Well, we were looking, and as that quarter ended with Permian on offense a moment ago, quarterback Powell was not on the field. But the offense came down and took their usual place there on the bench. They have a kind of a choir stand thing there that they sit on, and he was there with them without a helmet. So we'll see what happens when they come back out on the field in a moment. So the run is going to be by Sapien. He's not going to get the first down because of Jones. And Jones was helped out a bit by Notley, who got in the way enough that Sapien could not get the first down. What have they held him to on rushing tonight? 45. He's got 45 yards rushing coming into the ball game. Had 830, bidding to be the first Midland player to get 1,000 yards rushing and receiving, rushing and passing. So now he's supposedly dropping back to kick the ball away from the 33. It's going to be a 4th and 2 needed for a first. Let's see if they snap it to the up man. Nope, they're going to snap it back to Sapien, who does get the ball away and hits a ball that's going to be fielded. Nope, Stell's going to get away from it, and Permian will start from near the 20-yard line on offense. So let's see who trots out to be the quarterback, either 25 or 26.
Well, you've got some tomfoolery going on about midfield there, Tanner.
No, not tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery, yeah. Let's see if Peyton does come back. Nope, still going to be Christian Rodriguez, so maybe they're just giving Peyton a little break here. He's got his helmet on at about the 30-yard line down here on the north end, but they're going to give Christian Rodriguez a chance to run the offense with the first team again. Let's see what they dial up.
Well, they're going to start from the 18, not the 20, or 19 actually. I'll get it straight here in a second. Going to hand it off to Ed Williams. Williams is going to power his way to the 25.
Good run by Ed there, just almost right up the middle. Good blocking by the middle of that line. And Ojos, Gann, Reynolds doing their job between the center and the 2 guards.
Permian to be at home next week against Wolford Friendship. Their quarterback Hole went out in that Odessa High game about midway through the first half, and to our knowledge has not returned to the field. And he was the replacement for the starting quarterback when the season started. Ed Williams is going to be out beyond the 30-yard line. He's going to mark him at the 35 for a gain of 10. Their starting quarterback, you might remember back in week 1 this year, threw for 610 yards that first week. Was named the player of the Texas Schoolboy Player of the Week that week. Well, he went out in week 3 with an injury, gone for the year. And then Hole came in, and he's out tonight. So who knows who's going to show up here next week. Ed Williams is going to try to get the edge. We'll only get a couple.
Yeah, they get a job of kind of juking and jiving off to the left-hand side there for a couple of yards.
If the juke don't get you, the jive will.
Yeah, they're going to pull, looks like they're going to take a lineman, number 61, Paul Freeman. He's been lining up as a tight end a little bit, Barry, and they're going to bring another slot back in. So let's see if they decide to maybe run their true option.
Yep, they've got Harrell there in the slot. They're going to pitch it back to number 4, and our good buddy Hammond is going to get enough for the first as the change will move again as he's out to the 46-yard line for a gain of 9.
Watch the block here on the edge by number 13 right there. Very nicely done. Sellers making the block, and Hammond getting in the crease created by that block to get the first down at the Panther 46-yard line. Clock running at 8:56.
You've got to take advantage when you have a crease created for sure. Ramage will be here on the bottom of your screen. At the top is going to be Sellers. Going to be a running play. Going to hand the ball off to Williams. Williams right up the middle. Is going to be into Midland territory to the 48 for a gain of 6.
Panthers did a good job of making sure they had the block on the right side done. That's just the little read that they do off this offense. Rodriguez going to read the defensive end or end man on the line of scrimmage, saw that it was open on the crease, and handed it to Ed Williams nicely for 6 yards.
Yep, going to be 2nd and 4 now for Permian. We are in the 4th quarter, down to the 8-minute mark. Oh, no, not again. They pitch the ball back to Harrell, who has it bounce off his mask for the 2nd time tonight. But this time they do recover it, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, if he gets this pitch and gets the ball secured, he's got the edge for probably 10 to 15 yards, and he's going to get a little talking to over here by the on the sideline here. He's also got a little of equipment problem, looks like.
Well, Permian needs to get to the 44-yard line for a first. Rodriguez not really a passing quarterback. He's only thrown 2 passes. He has completed both of them this year for 8 yards through a 1 pass last week and through a pass in the 2nd week against Franklin. So he throws the ball here, has the man open, has Hammond, but Hammond's going to be a long way short of what they need for a first, as he's only out to the 49-yard line and is going to be 7 yards short.
Yeah, they'll have to punt the football here due to the miscue on 2nd down. Hey, they're looking at Harrell's hand. He might have jammed a finger or something trying to get that done, but he's also hearing a little bit about taking care of the football there.
Carson Roberts averaging 33 yards a punt. Only a 2nd punt tonight, right? Is that right, Larry?
Yeah, I think
Third punt. So he's going to punt the ball away, and it'll be brought down inside the 10-yard line. So a great job by Carson Roberts, premier kicker in this district. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 8 for Midland. They trail by 28-7. We're 6:41 to play in the ball game. Been a real ragged night. Permian's got the lead, Kyle, but it's been extremely ragged.
Well, and at times it's been sloppy. At times it's been mental mistakes that you can't have later on down the line. The Panther defense has, for the most part, been pretty stellar tonight. And, offensively, it's just when you have those types of mental mistakes that I've talked about and we've kind of covered tonight on our broadcast here, things do tend to get that way.
Yep, Justin Hammond over here on the sideline being tended to. A little movement maybe. Might cost him half the distance. Well, it's bad enough that you're starting from your 8. Now you're starting from your 4. So with 6:39 to play in the ball game, Midland trailing by 3 scores at 28-7. Now face a 96-yard cow pasture in front of them. If they want to get into the end zone, they've got to go the entire length of the field. Sudden Sapien will keep the ball and will get a modest gain. A whole bunch of black shirts there to grab a hold of him, among others. Our good friend Andy Notley, who seems to be everywhere these days, going to be 2nd down.
Also got a little help from Easton Hernandez, number 20, from the outside linebacking position.
Yep, so he got 5, so it's going to be 2nd and 10. They need to get out to the 18-yard line for a first. Midland coming into the ball game. Lost to Tascosa in district play week 1. Won last week in overtime against Wolfforth Friendship. Gets the ball out to his receiver, who catches the ball finally. I think first catch of the night for Blanchette. As I mentioned earlier, he and Powell were the quarterback receiving tandem at Midland Christian last season. So that's going to be a gain of 26 yards out to the 34-yard line. First time Blanchette's been involved. So Sapien will come in to run the ball, and up there to make the tackle is going to be Zach Burlingame, among others. Burlingame was on the bottom of the pile. Going to be to the 36 for a gain of a couple. 2nd and 8.
That throw on the play previously was very well done. A little back shoulder throw there. Shawner had great coverage.
Yep, had great coverage, but Blanchette, who has been playing so well this season, came up with a catch. And now the run's going to be enough for a first down as Shawner and Stell. And again, you don't want your cornerbacks and your safeties making the tackles, able to make the tackle at the 44-yard line. But Midland has now got off of the porch at their 4-yard line and has moved 40 yards out to the 44-yard line. Sapien now throwing the ball over the middle of the field, and it's going to be picked. As it is picked off by Cameron Martinez, his first interception of the season, and that is the fourth interception of the night for Permian.
Yeah, that's a forced ball that you don't want to see your quarterback throw. Double coverage, no way to get that ball in there unless you're, oh gosh, who had John Elway, maybe somebody like that could get it in there. That was just
Mahomes might.
Mahomes
for
Mahomes
a name that you might, Mahomes, a name that you might know from current NFL. So Permian now starting from their 44-yard line. Let's see, it looks like Christian Rodriguez is again going to be the quarterback. 28-7 lead for Permian. They're going to hand the ball off to Williams, and Williams will score his third touchdown of the night. Nope, he won't. I spoke a little too quickly. They catch him at the 8-yard line. Maybe he's just pooped out. So he goes from the Permian 44 down to the 8, and Permian has a first and goal.
Just kicked out from the right tackle position, blocked down from the right guard position. You saw the hole. Ed just shot through it and got all the way down to the 8-yard line for Permian.
48 yards on that rush, and unofficially we have him for, well, he had 177 before that, so he's going to be over 200 so far tonight. Hands the ball off inside. No, Christian's going to keep it, and it's going to be a second and goal from the 4 after that gain of 4.
Well, they collapsed down on Ed on the left side. Talking about the Permian left side, you see it on our Trans Global Productions. They took the dive away. That's why Christian just pulled the ball, got back outside, got a couple 2 or 3 yards. Good decision by him, and be second and goal from the Bulldog 5-yard line.
Williams had 190 against El Paso Franklin, so the 200 yards tonight, a little bit more than 200, is his best effort of the season. Now Rodriguez looking to throw the ball.
Look at there. Wow.
And it's going to be a touchdown as Permian will come up with yet one more score. He finds Tyler Ramage for his second touchdown of the season. And for Rodriguez, I think that is his first passing score of the year. Permian has another 6 on the board, looking for Roberts to add the 7th point.
Look how Ramage just cradled the ball in, making sure he caught it. Great throw by Christian, and man, he ought to deserve a game ball. I'd get that for his first touchdown pass as a varsity Panther quarterback.
The extra point by Carson Roberts is good, and now with 3:46 to play in the ball game, Permian has 35 on the board to the Bulldogs 7. We'll be back to Ratliff in a moment.
On a forbidden Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, we can't.
But Julia,
Our rivals.
I can love you and still hate your overrated school.
We have 2 different defensive philosophies. You're a base 4-3 cover 2, and I'm an
aggressive 3-4 with press coverage. I get it, but we both love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Ramon.
Touchdown, State!
Yes! Into your face!
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Wake up to eggs cooked to perfection, savory bacon, sausage and chorizo, and hot, fresh flour tortillas. Drive through for breakfast at Rosa's Cafe. Rosa's combines all your favorites into tasty breakfast tacos and serves them hot and fresh to get your day started right. Or try Rosa's Migas plate with beans and potatoes. Feeding a group? Rosa's breakfast taco platter is the perfect fit. So rise and shine. Life and breakfast is better at Rosa's Cafe.
BCM and Associates Incorporated, the Oilfield Undertaker. BCM provides turnkey services to plug and abandon oil and gas wells in the Permian Basin. BCM has 7 highly trained plugging crews based in Odessa and Hobbs, New Mexico. BCM will prepare and file regulatory forms. We also buy leases for production and salvage. Go to bcmandassociates.com for services, pipe, plus equipment for sale. bcmandassociates.com. The Oilfield Undertaker. The Texas oil boom has returned, and Rexco Poly Fittings is your Lone Star choice in polyethylene, steel, and brass needs with a wide variety to choose from. Locally owned and operated in the Permian Basin since 1982, Rexco's experienced staff will help you get the right fittings and valves to help you get the job done. Go to RexcoPoly.com. Rexco, your poly supply company located in Midland and Odessa.
Rexco!
For great flooring values and real customer service, forget the frustration of the big box stores. Paul Evans trained flooring professionals will save you time, money, and hassle on your next flooring project. Whether do-it-yourself or professionally installed, Paul Evans offers great values on carpet, tile, hardwood, and waterproof flooring. Paul Evans Flooring, Odessa and Midland. For over 30 years,
You just can't beat a Paul Evans deal.
Texas Burger's Banana Split. A banana never had it so good.
The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance Agent Mike Podzemny, as well as Texas Burger. 4-yard pass, Rodriguez's first of the season to Ramage, and again his first of the season. 56 yards, minute 17, 3 plays. And Carson Roberts, I didn't even bother to look on the extra point because I figured he was going to make it. Well, he doinked it, and it's now 34-7. Panthers over the Bulldogs.
Did he call a fair catch? That's what he did. He called a fair catch back at the 8-yard line.
Roberts didn't miss a beat last year, made all of his extra points, has a couple of misses tonight.
Oh, his knee hit the ground.
And so after Midland's returner's knee hit the ground, they're going to start again from their 8-yard line with a 1st and 10 and trailing by 34-7.
You know, when Elvis used to do a concert, Barry, they would say at the end, Elvis has left the building. There's a bunch of people leaving the building right now. I believe this one's out of reach.
Yep, he never did encores. Did you know that?
No, I knew that.
But he gave you your money's worth in that hour and a half, 2 hours before that. So they're going to run the ball here and get nothing. Yeah, I got to see him at the Coliseum in May of '76. Passed away in August of '77, so I saw him about a year and a few months before his passing. I will always treasure that night. That was a wonderful night to watch the King of Rock and Roll. Little did I think, a little over a year later, I'd be announcing that he had passed away when I was working the radio. Yeah. So this one's incomplete, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down from the 8-yard line. So Permian, with 3:10 to play in the ball game, will get the ball back for maybe the last time tonight. Permian's going to punch their playoff ticket with a win this evening. As they came into the ball game, this series between the teams, this will be their 47th win in the 60th game between the two teams. Be 3rd and 8. So now is Prime's picking for another pick. What do you think?
Well,
How about a pick 6?
Certainly is that, and Panthers just playing little coverage, and they're going to end up getting the first down on a couple of missed tackles off the far side before number 21 for the Panthers, Keaton Armstrong, makes the play. But watch our Trans Global Productions instant replay as the throw goes out into the flat.
It's a 25-yard catch and run after the 33-yard line. Keaton Armstrong made the tackle, but it's going to be 1st and 10 Midland. Now Sapiens looking down the field. Here comes a little bit of pressure. Tries to get the ball to his receiver, intended for Washington. Falls incomplete and going to bring about a second down. So next week we're going to have Wolforth Friendship. So what's your early scouting on that?
Well, they've struggled, Barry. As you said, they've lost, 2 quarterbacks up there?
Yep.
They're going to come in here kind of a wounded animal. And
Permian,
that's a team that you have to be careful with, just because they might be liable to do just about anything.
Garcia on the run and Chauner on the tackle. Yeah, they're going to be wounded for sure, but Permian needs to have a good week of practice.
Well, they do, and they need to stay sharp and not look ahead to the big game the week after that in Midland at Grande against the Lee Rebels. They've got to continue to improve and get better. I can tell you one thing that they've got to do. They've got to get rid of them turnovers.
Yeah, Sapien's going to run the ball here, and he's going to get a good amount of yardage before finally it's going to be Braden Ray that makes the tackle on him inside of Permian territory down to the 43-yard line.
Little quarterback draw there, as you can see on our replay, and did a good job of reading it. The quarterback did there, and got upfield for a first down. How about we do a defensive MVP after this play?
Yep, 20 yards on that one, so we'll talk about MVPs after this. Going to get the ball down to Des Washington. Washington's going to have a 1st and 10.
Well, there's a whole host of Panthers that we could talk about tonight, but I tell you, with unofficially 4 tackles and 2 interceptions, I'm going to go with Tanner Adams, number 47.
Good choice.
I think he played very well. Been the leader of the middle of that Panther defense, and the 2 picks were very big for the Panther defense tonight.
Minute and a half left in the ball game. Going to get the ball off to Garcia, who's going to have a gain down to the 15-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10.
The question is, Barry, who are you going to pick for the offensive end?
Well, offense, I'm going to go with a hot hand tonight. I think that he certainly deserves it. Caden Harrell had a 37-yard reception for a score, ran the ball well, had a 2-yard run as well. So my offensive player of the game for Permian is going to be Caden Harrell. Congratulations to both of these players for the Dr. Pepper players of the game.
Great choices on both sides of the ball, and we certainly could have gone a couple of other ways offensively and defensively. Ed Williams again tonight, a big night with, according to Larry, 24 carries for 225 yards. Certainly Harrell did his part catching the football. And that offensive line did a really nice job of opening some of that stuff up for Williams and for Peyton Powell to have a chance to throw the football.
And Powell did not run the ball one time, did he?
No, he did not. And here may be, I think this is going to be a turnover. If not, is it a turnover? Yes, it is, on the fumble by Sapien. And that kind of sums up the night for the Bulldogs tonight.
Well, in there to make the fumble recovery is going to be Tanner Johnson, a senior linebacker. In fact, when the game was starting, I saw his mom standing up down below us, had her 50 jersey on. I bet she's a happy camper.
Yep, that might be something that will happen. She might give that baby boy of hers a big hug when he gets to the house tonight.
So the final 52 seconds of this one is Permian's going to win the ball game. They opened district play with a win against Odessa High. Took care of business in the last minute last week up at Amarillo Tascosa on that connection between Hammond and Powell. And then tonight took care of business here in Odessa back at Ratliff against Midland High. Our final scores are going to be 34-7.
Can we say hello playoffs for this team in black and white?
You can.
Hello playoffs.
So the first gain is going to be a gain of 3 after the 23. We're going to have the final plays of the night as they pitch the ball back and going to get just a little bit less of what they needed for a first as they pitched the ball back to Martinez, Adam Martinez. The Dr. Pepper Game of the Week produced by Transglobal Productions, directed by Bob Bailey, replay director Debbie Bailey, Jason and Grant Barrage, our main camera operators, Justin Oakes, and our north end zone, Robert Carrillo, and south, Pete and John Delgado. Our grips, as always, on these broadcasts. And
good
along
job,
with Larry Thornhill and Kyle Hubbard, Barry Sox saying thanks for being with us. So Permian has qualified for the playoffs tonight with a final score over Midland High. Permian 34, the Midland High Bulldogs 7.
Permian Panthers 34, Midland High Bulldogs 7.